What's going on, everybody? My name's Slender, and today I'm going to show you guys some tips and tricks to help all the new players out there that just started Lost Ark. Lost Ark, when you first get into this game, it is daunting. There are so many different mechanics, different parts of the game, different systems, and when it's all thrown at you at the same time for a new player, it can be really confusing. So this is not going to be a complete ultimate leveling guide. This is going to be more of a, these are things that I found along the way that I wish I would have known when I first started playing. It would have helped me tremendously. So that's what I'm here to show you guys. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So upon starting the game, your first option right away is going to be making and selecting a class. There's a bunch of different options. There's some main classes, and each main class has some advanced classes. And each advanced class is very different from each other. So there are a ton of different classes, and it can be a hard decision to make. What I suggest is, since you're going to have a ton of alts on this game, because that's just the way the game is, you can use different alt classes to funnel in resources to your main character. You know, it doesn't take that long to level in this game, and I say by the time you hit around 30, maybe level 35 on that character, you're going to really know if this is the type of gameplay you like, if this is the type of class that you want to play. But it's going to take several different characters to figure that out, so don't stress too much on which one's my main, which class should I focus on. You're going to want to play a little bit of all of them. So that's my advice to you. Don't get too stuck on this one class. You're going to end up playing a bunch of them. Just play what you like. Get the class to like 25, 30, 35, and you'll figure out which one is going to be your favorite and which one to make your main character. So this next thing that I'm going to show you guys is something that I just recently found out. I wish I would have been told about this or knew about this when I first started playing. But when I first started playing this game, the Russian client, I noticed right away that it seemed like the right and left mouse buttons were reversed. I kept hitting the attack button when I'd try to move, and I'd keep moving whenever I tried to attack, and it just made it awful. So you can actually go into the settings, and it looks like the right and left mouse buttons are locked, like meaning you can't change it, but you actually can. You just scroll down to this little box that says use left mouse or whatever it says, and you just check mark it or uncheck it, and it will actually swap your right and left mouse buttons. Super big help for me. I hope it helps you guys. Now this is another thing that they don't really tell you. It's kind of hard to, not hard to figure out. I mean, I'm sure if you search for it, you can find it. But in order to auto run, you just press T as in Tom. Actually, there's kind of two ways you can run without constantly clicking all the time. You can either press T, or you can hold down the move button, which is going to be either your right or your left mouse button, depending on whether or not you switched yours around. So for me, my move is right click, so you can just hold down right click and just steer your character or your horse around. So super helpful. If you're trying to figure out what the auto run key is, it is T as in Tom. This next system I'm going to go over is basically the fast travel system. They're called Triports. So they look like a circular rune on the ground. When you open up your map or you open up your mini map or overlay, you can see these, and if they're grayed out, that means you haven't visited yet. To visit them means, or to be able to use them and activate them, you have to visit them. And once you visit them, you can literally travel anywhere on the map by just opening up your map or opening up your overlay and clicking on one of those, and you can travel. And if you have the Crystalline Aura or the premium service, you could do that for free. It doesn't cost anything. Now another kind of a really good tip is, you know how you have to open up the main map to just click on it? You can't really click on the overlay tripod. You can actually just hold down your Alt key with the overlay open, and it will allow you to travel just by holding down Alt and left clicking on the tripod, whether you're in your main map or the overlay. It's really nice. Now this game has an auto loot system. In order to use it, you have to have a pet. The pet is really easy to get. You get it in the very beginning of the game. You have to actually find what they call adventure quest or guide quest. They're the purple quest, and they show up as a little purple icon on the map. And you get this again like right when you finish the prologue in the very beginning of the game when you first start leveling. And just make sure you select the purple quest, and I would always do the purple quest. They're going to be important things. They're the quests that introduce you to new really important mechanics or different parts of the game. So you definitely want to get those, and that's how you get your little bunny rabbit. If you have the founder pack, you start out with the pet, but if not, you still get a free pet. It's in the game. You don't have to pay anything. Just follow that purple quest. do the quest line. It doesn't take very long, and your pet will go around and auto loot everything for you. So really important quest you don't want to skip. Make sure you get that done. So as far as the map goes, Lost Ark's map isn't bad at all. But just like any other MMO, there's an external third-party website where you can go and you could use filters, you can locate different resources that you need to find throughout the world in Lost Ark. For example, I'm using this one to find the Mokoko seeds, and we'll talk about Mokoko seeds a little bit later. But I wanted to show you guys, this is called Papunika.com. It seems to be the most popular map for this game so far, and I really enjoy it. It's very useful, it's very easy to use, so definitely check it out and be adding it to your favorites because you're going to be going there a lot. Now, speaking of Mokoko seeds, they are a little weird collectible thing that you can get. They're usually tucked away in the corners of the maps. They're out in the open world. You can find them in dungeons. And for the longest time I was wondering, like, should I even be wasting my time getting these? And the answer is it depends. You know, you're going to eventually need them later on. They're going to be used for different side things like leveling up your estate, getting more sailors for your ships and your missions. You're going to use them for, they're just another collectible. You can use them for gaining affinity with NPCs, get stat increases. So again, just another collectible. You don't have to focus on it right now. If you want to just focus on leveling as fast as you can, then skip them. But eventually, yes, you will be coming back to get all those Mokoko seeds for sure. So the skills in Lost Ark, this is the fun one. I love this part. So Lost Ark has a unique way that they do the skills, and there's a ton of skills, and every skill that you get has different augmentations you can make and different ways to modify them. I'm going to kind of show you right here where I use this ability with, you know, the demon comes out, there's 3 different attacks. Well, you can further modify that skill to do different things, to add different effects, to add different attacks in the chain. Like this is a 3 attack skill, but you could turn it into a 2 attack skill where it does bigger damage and like a bigger AoE. And the thing that I absolutely love about the skills in this game is every time you level up, you get skill points. And you can apply those skills to whatever abilities that you have that you want. And if you decide, you know what, I don't want to put the points into this, I want to put the points in something else and check that out, there's no cost for resetting it. There actually really is no resetting at all. You just take the points out, put them somewhere else. You have the freedom and the flexibility to experiment and use different abilities with different modifiers as many times as you want. It's really great. So don't forget, if you're trying to figure out which points to put these skills, or which skills to put these points into rather, don't worry about it. It's okay. You have unlimited re-rolls, resets. Once you put them in there, they're not locked. You can always take them out and put them somewhere else. Really neat. Now the experience and the way you gain experience in this game is normal. You know, you kill monsters, you get collectibles, and you're going to get more experience and you're going to level up your character. But there's 2 different types of experience in this game. One of them is your combat level or character level, and the other one is basically your account level, or what they call roster level. And they are different. So the character or combat level that you're going to get is your traditional experience for your character. As you gain more, you level up, etc., etc. Now the roster level is an account-wide system, and basically by leveling up your roster, and the way to do that is by doing collectibles, just by doing normal quests and the story quests. Anytime you get experience, pretty much, you're going to get roster experience, but it's going to go at a much slower rate because it's account-wide. And what you're going to do as your roster level increases, all the characters tied to this account will get special perks. These are going to be buffs to your character stats. You can also get these roster level rewards. So you have to click on the roster, go through the thing, and start claiming all the different rewards. And you can see here what you're going to be getting from them. It's really cool. So you definitely want to you definitely want to keep an eye on your roster level, because you're going to continue unlocking perks, and your characters are just going to be stronger across the board. It's really cool. It's kind of a different, concept, but I really like it. And I wish I would have known about that in the beginning. I had no idea what the roster thing was. I didn't know if it mattered. I didn't know if I needed it, but turns out you absolutely do. So don't neglect it. Keep an eye on it. Don't forget to claim those rewards. Now, speaking of account-wide perks and things like the roster experience, I want to touch on cards. Cards are a very interesting system in Lost Ark, and you're going to want to definitely focus on them. You're going to want to get the cards, you're going to want to build your decks, you're going to want to get the books. It's super important. These are basically like trophies in New World. When you start collecting these cards, and there's different rarities and legendaries and epics, and you start building these decks, you're going to unlock very big bonuses to your combat. You're going to unlock things that give you, reduced damage or damage mitigation from certain types of enemies, from certain dungeons, and also damage modifiers for certain types of enemies and specific dungeons. So once you start getting into the higher tier, end game content, it's going to be really, really important that you get these cards. So I wouldn't focus too much on them in the beginning. Figure out the character that you want to create, figure out the class you want to play, but eventually you're going to want to get these cards and you're going to want to search for them and start collecting them, because they are very powerful and a very big part of your character progression for sure. So don't neglect it, maybe at the beginning, but eventually you're really going to want to focus on that. As far as where you get these cards and how to obtain them, you get them a couple different ways. You can get them from rapport rewards, or from the affinity quests and different things like that. You get them as rare drops from dungeons and raids, and you can pull up the card menu by just hitting Alt-C, and you can see all your different cards that you have, what kind of rewards they can give you, and yeah, it's a really, really cool system. So if you guys find this helpful so far and useful in any way and want to continue getting content like this, getting updates on the game when updates come out, big changes coming in, don't forget to like and subscribe. Now, since we just talked about the cards and that whole system, I also want to talk about something that you can use to find those cards, because eventually you're going to come back and you're going to want to start building up those decks when you start doing the chaos dungeons and that much more difficult, tough endgame content. And you can actually use something called the Codex. The Codex is basically like a built-in encyclopedia. It's got all these different armors, all these different weapons. You can find information on cards and where they drop, how to obtain them. It's really, really nice. It's a built-in system. You don't have to, it's like a built-in wiki. You don't have to go to an external website. The game has it right there. So really, really neat. You definitely want to take advantage of that. Now, one of the most important topics I want to discuss and give you guys, a little bit of help with if you're new is questing. So if you're looking to quest as quickly as possible and just rush to the end game, hit 50 as fast as you can, you're going to want to focus on the orange quests, which are the main story quests. Once you get to a certain level in the game, those main quests are going to turn into, instead of an orange icon, you're going to get a little blue icon of like a globe. And those are going to be your world quests. That's when you get introduced to the ship and sailing system. So it's same thing, you just want to keep on cruising, do all the main quests, start working on your world quest, and you'll hit 50 in no time. As far as the yellow quests or the yellow exclamations, those are side quests. You can do them if you need a little bit of extra cash or if you want a little bit of experience, but they're really not that beneficial. They're not important. You could skip them if you want. If you're a completionist, not going to be able to do that. You're going to have to get them done. But these you absolutely do not have to do. They're just going to slow down your progression. Again, if you need money, which is pretty easy to make in this game, just skip them. The other important quests that you're going to want to do are the purple ones. They're the guide quests or the adventure quests. These are super important. Again, if you're trying to level as fast as possible, you don't have to do them. You can absolutely come back to get them. Make sure you at least do the pet quest so that you can get that auto loot. Other than that, you could probably skip these two, level up, get to the end, and then come back and do them later. But they're going to introduce you to different mechanics and different things that are actually quite important. The pink quests, those are your affinity and your rapport quests for reputation. You get different rewards from those two. Again, you're going to want to come back and do these two, but you don't have to do them to get to level up and get to the end game. Now, the adventure book is something that I overlooked when I first started playing, and again, I wish somebody would have told me about this. So what it is it's where you go to look at all the different areas you visited. There's different achievements that you can get, and there's different rewards that you can get for completing these achievements. Again, this is one of those things where if you're a completionist, you're going to want to get it done and keep track of everything and make sure you're checking off all the different things. But it's basically, you just basically get different rewards for searching new places, finding new places, exploring new places. For example, there's one where you can get all the triports in a certain map and you'll get some rewards, and some of the rewards are actually pretty good. So check out the adventure book, make sure you keep your eye on it, and you're definitely going to want to get these done. So I'm sure you guys probably noticed this is a little bit more than 10 things that I wanted to show you. To be honest, there was just too many little things here and there that I couldn't exclude from it. I just wanted it to be a complete video, so sorry about that. Now, the Crystalline Aura or Crystalline Aura, What this is basically the Lost Ark's premium status. So you can see here all the different buffs you get from them. Some of the big ones that stand out are the reduced travel cost, the Bifrost you get, which is basically a recall system where you can mark any location in the map and you can instantly recall to that spot anytime you want. It's really, really nice. And the one that I'm really looking forward to is the experience bonus you get when you unlock your stronghold. So check it out. It's in the store. It's not too expensive, and I think it's pretty decent. So check it out. Now, one of my favorite things about this game are the mounts. The mounts look so cool. They have emotes. They're so awesome in this game. This is the one thing I've been waiting for and just can't wait to get in there. I already bought one today. I love it. It's goofy, but it's pretty cool. So a couple things about mounts. You get a free mount in the beginning. It's super easy to get. You'll get it pretty much right away after the prologue, and the rarity actually changes the speed of the mounts. There's nowhere that I could find that shows like what the different speeds are. I think you can Google it, and somebody did something on, the different speeds, but it should say in the description for the mount, but it doesn't. But what I do know is the higher the rarity, the faster the mounts are going to be, as far as people say. And the mounts are really nice. They're going to help you traverse the world a lot faster, obviously. And I just, I think they're fun and I think they're cool. And again, you do get a free one, so don't worry about having to go to the cash shop. They provide you with a mount. It's a boring horse, but it's better than nothing. And one other cool thing that you can do with the mounts is you can actually turn in your quest and accept quests without dismounting, without getting off. So that's kind of a neat little tip for it. Another part of this game that can be overlooked and easy to forget about are the various rewards that you can claim for doing different things in the game. For example, you want to check your mail. Anytime you see an indicator with the mail, it's probably going to be a reward that you can collect from doing something, from completing something. There's login rewards or attendance rewards where every consecutive day that you log in, you get extra rewards, so you don't want to forget about that. The Adventure Tome or the Adventure Book, again, there's a bunch of stuff in there that you want to, not forget about. Always keep track of it. Make sure you're claiming all those rewards because it's just extra money in your pockets, extra abilities, extra potions, different things like that. So don't forget about them. And also the welcome challenge in the top right corner, that's another system where you can get different various rewards. So just make sure you're always checking that and claiming. Now, one thing you're quickly going to realize in this game is you get more gears, you get more upgrades, your inventory is going to start getting full of all this crap basically that you don't need. And instead of holding on to it, instead of taking up all your storage space and having to run into town constantly to sell all the different things, you can actually dismantle this stuff. And the benefit to dismantling it is you could take all these items that normally you would sell to a vendor for money, and you can dismantle them, and they'll turn into these scraps that you can sell to NPCs, and they stack. So instead of having 30 different slots taken for all this different gear that you're going to sell eventually, you can actually consolidate it and condense it into just a couple stacks of things that you can sell to the vendors. And you can also get, for higher rarity items, pretty good stuff that you're going to be using later on. So really good system. There's a dismantle all, like a quick dismantle. You can dismantle all the green stuff with one push of a button, or all the blue stuff with one push of a button. It's really, really nice. It's a great quality of life feature that I wish more games had. So take advantage of it. So the last couple things I want to show you guys are just some really cool things that I just found out recently that I felt I should throw them in there. You can actually change the color and the look of your cursor in game by holding down left control and using your scroll wheel on your mouse. You can also move the map overlay with the instead of using the scroll, you actually hold down the middle mouse button and you can move the overlay mini map thing around, which is really, really nice. And then to hide your UI is Alt and then X as in X-ray. And then the last thing, you could pull up your emotes by pressing the Y button. Just a couple little tips in there that I thought I should throw in. So that's it. So I'm sorry the video is a little bit longer than I anticipated. I didn't mean to make it that long, but if you did find it useful, please like and subscribe. I hate asking for people for that, but it does support the channel, and I love doing this so much. Hopefully one day I could quit my job and do this full time and really be able to deliver some great content for you guys. So again, hope it was helpful. Drop a comment, let me know some other good, helpful tips, or maybe something I might have missed that should have been in there. I appreciate all the feedback. I respond to every single comment. Thank you so much, guys, for being here, and I'll see you in Lost Ark. Have a great day, everybody.